Yeah. We go live from 11. Hello, it's good to have you join us again for your favorite program coming to you from NTA2 Lagos Network Center. This is Close Flow. And my name is Fola Martins, of course, the entire crew, including my producer and the linesmen, everybody getting ready to make sure that we upload onto your screens the best of who and how Nigeria can become one of the greatest nations on the face of the earth. Well, we are still talking from the major city of country that has been described by some people as the capital of poverty in the world. I don't know how that came to be, but we'll get to talk about it. We are also going to be looking at, well, what is the question of faith doing with national development? So is it because I believe that I am going to succeed as a nation, or is it because I do not believe that I remain a poor or impoverished nation? We'll be looking at some of these and other, contentious issues about nation building with our guest, who incidentally is a linguist. He speaks English and German. I don't know how that is going to help us today. He is also a commercially trained mind, besides the fact that he went to school to study theology. So we are going to be looking at, again, I will ask him in the course of our conversation, why is he not called a pastor? He's a presbyter. So why that division? So we need to find out. And besides that, he has served in his own sector of the Christian faith all across Nigeria. So we'll look at what the landscape is saying right now. Can we travel across Nigeria easily and safely now? Some of these questions are the things we're going to be asking our distinguished guest, who is going to be spending time with us as we look at, we just celebrated Easter. So the risen Christ, is that part of the crisis in Nigeria? We'll look at all these questions when we come back. So stay with us, and then we shall introduce to you our guest.
Hey beautiful, your eyes, your smile are all begging me to take you home tonight.
Now reading page 3.
Experience unlimited superfast internet access from Entel 4G.
Entel. Live more.
Experience unlimited superfast internet access from Entel 4G.
Entel. Live more.
Hello, thank you for joining us. Like we said before we went on that break, this is Close Flow coming to you from NTA2 Lagos Network Center. We always say to you that this conversation with our distinguished Nigerian is always about you. So you must be a part of the conversation as you join us in this conversation. So my pleasure to welcome on your behalf Very Reverend John Olarewaju Solubi to Close Flow. You're welcome to Close Flow.
Pleased to meet you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Bless you, sir.
Thank you very much. You're welcome.
Yes.
Now, Very Reverend John, let me quickly start from, you went to school in Jos.
Exactly.
So what was your experience like living in Jos as a student?
At that time, Jos was a peaceful place. At that time, it's a good place, nice place, fantastic, where there is a serenity, and everybody were looking, where they are living fine. And in actual fact, I can say that's the best place to stay. And that's the
I
best
like the way
place
you are phrasing this. Is it at that time?
At that time.
So
because what I'm just insinuating is that it cannot be compared with now. If you are going to just now, you can't go by road because of the safety of life. So it's better for you to go by here. Unless you are ready for kidnapping, or you are ready to die, you are ready to lose your life on the road. So at that time we are talking about, there is safety, there is peace, there is understanding, there is unity, there is no rancor, there is no bad politics that turns tribe to one another, as we are experiencing now.
So you are situating it for us now.
Exactly.
So the country is in a dilemma.
Exactly.
We seem to be disunited. That's what you're saying now.
Exactly.
Now, so what would you want to advance from your own perspective as a trained theologian, as a practicing Christian? What would you want to advance? What would be the likely causes for this disunity you're looking at?
Well, the likely causes depends on our leader. If you are going to lead, we have to make a sacrifice, and then you have to be detribalized. You don't have to practice anything that will bring in suspicion or anything that can bring the other tribe down, to say the other tribe, they are no tribe. They are
marginalized.
Exactly, marginalization and possibly nepotism. All those things must not come to play. You must balance it. There must be justice. There must be equity. There must be fairness. All these things, if they are in place, there will be peace. There will be concord. And nobody will ever agitate for anything, because everything that is needful for unity is already on ground. But when our leader try to play politics and then try to brainwash people, and to think that maybe they have the agenda, nobody knows. But the way they act, action speaks louder than voice. The moment you begin to act and people begin to discover your action to bring in something else, then they start agitating for one thing or the other to secure their life.
Well, some people have said that, as a matter of fact, religious bodies or religious organizations also have a stake in how the nation is formed, how the nation is built, and how the nation is cohesively managed. So why are religious leaders not part of this your equation that you have just described?
Yes, well, thank you. In some way, the religious leaders, they are not there. In some ways, we have some who join politics, but then they are not going to be in full-time politics. So they can just do it somehow. So, but because we are called to the ministry of the Word of God, normally we're supposed to go in and do the thing properly. But the major assignment given to us is to save life, and on that we focus on to preach the good news of salvation to all and sundry, to tell them about the Jesus or God that we are serving, that is able to save. So, but notwithstanding, as you said, that we don't enter it too much, is because we don't want to be distracted from our calling. So, and that's why we need to focus on where we are called to. And then possibly, if there is need for us to come out when things are not going around well, we need to come out and speak and Sorosuke, as you always say.
Well, I like the Sorosuke because, as a matter of fact, as a Methodist priest, your own sect of the Christian faith came because your leaders then, the Wesley brothers, and one Sorosuke. Okay, they were trying to revive the practice of Christianity in England that time. But now, are we not caught in the same trap now? Don't we need to revive the way we practice Christian in Nigeria right now? Don't you think so?
I can say that in one way or the other, we have people who have been speaking out. I know of Oyedekbu is speaking out, and some others, not many, but some are really doing it well to tell the leaders, look, you are not doing it right. You are not uniting us. Your action is polluting the nation and disturbing the nation, harassing the nation, and putting the nation on a gunpowder. So they have been able to be telling them, but notwithstanding, we still need more. We have to come out and let the leaders know that the way we are doing, the way we are going, there is going to be a repercussion for it. So some of our leaders, the past leaders, they have been able to lead well. And they have been able to unite the nation and make us to feel belonging. But the way we are going, the way we are doing things is as if we are not belonging to Nigeria.
Anymore.
And people are afraid. So out of that being afraid is the agitation coming in. If they are not afraid, they will not say, let us go our own path. This marriage is not working. Things are not working right. Let's go on our way. It's not their joy to go. Nobody wants to go. If you want to keep on to be one Nigeria, it's possible. But if you are not doing it well, then people will ask for release.
Well, okay. Some sociologists also have said that from their studies, that insipid violence and sense of insecurity will readily push people into various religious groups.
Exactly.
That people will now take on the toga of religion because of maybe they want to secure their lives. Exactly. So don't you think that is again another reason why we seem to have many religious groups in Nigeria and yet we don't have a social balance?
You are right. You may be right on that. That possibly because we are seeking to secure our life.
Yes.
Then there is more.
You have many more churches, less factories.
Exactly. More churches, more mosques, and all the rest of things. And then, mind you, along the line, politics came into religion. And when you discover, you see all our politicians taking a lot of money, receiving millions, and then giving peanuts to those who are working.
To the
citizens, giving them 30,000 per month. And then when they at the end of the month, they go back to the bank and be smiling. They take their millions inside Ghana must go and deposit it. Why they create problem for the commoners and then tell them about maybe you have to put on ujab, you have to put on kasok, and deceiving them, playing upon their intelligence. What is ujab? What is kasok? What is a religious dress? Finding, looking in a student uniform. The uniform has been designed and it has been defined. Student uniform is not religious uniform. So when you pollute everything together, because maybe you want to go for second time or the other thing, you bring in a job. If you want to do it well, bring in a job, bring in kasok, whatever you want to bring in. Cut your salary. Let your salary be cut so that by the time you cut your salary to 30,000, you can employ the youth. As they are finishing their school, you employ them, you better their life, you make life to be meaningful to them. That is a good job. It's
that
a
people
good,
can wear.
Exactly, that people can wear. But when you are going at the end of the month to go with your millions and you smile back and you are deceiving people, telling them, put on hijab, put on kasok, well, the real kasok is to make life better for the youth. The youth are not finding it easy. They are under pain. Yeah. When they are trained, finished by their parents, they come back to their parents again to be training them, beg for food, to be feeding them, and it's unheard of. It's very bad.
Okay, well, let's come to, because this question, it seems to be on both sides.
Okay, sir.
The split side of the coin is that with rising consumerism and monetized politicking, even in the church or even among religious bodies, let me just say the church now, let us say amongst religious organizations, that everybody is spending money, just like you said. Ghana must go is everywhere. So, okay, it's funny, right? So how about the worshippers themselves, the adherents? How would they feel? They are already abandoned, not only by politicians, but even religious leaders.
It's like we are not taught like that. That as a leader, religious leader, we go after money. Money is good, but we don't make money to be the major focus. If we make money to be the major focus, then our calling is at stake, and we are not doing it well as a religious leader. As a religious leader, money must come last. Out of money,
Yes.
an human being, which one are you going to pick first? My brother, which one? This is human being, this is money. Which one are you going to go for?
In Nigeria
today.
I'm sure I will take money first.
Hallelujah, but it is very wrong. We're supposed to take human being first. I can say out of human being and cow, which one are you going to pick first? Some people will say cow.
Yes.
So, but we are not getting our priority right. We are putting the cart before the horse. You're supposed to pick human being first. When you relate with human being, you behave well with them, and they see your character, they see your attitude, they see who you are. Then money will come, money will follow. But when you go for money first, and then you misbehave, you committed atrocity, your attitude is not regulated, then there's going to be problem.
Well, one thing again that religious organizations seem to be facing in Nigeria is a question of social justice. Many of the practitioners, they are like saying, okay, if the politicians commit crimes and they enjoy immunity from the government, they walk away, you know, without being prosecuted, why won't religious leaders call them
to
order? Why can't they? They seem to also, you know, robe them in respect, give them best seats in the church or in the mosque and all that. So they are saying why? So why is that happening?
Well, as you said, it's not expected. It's not expected. We are created by God as leader to protect the commoners. It's not expected for people who have stolen money from the government and bringing in the money to the church for Thanksgiving or whatever things. It's not acceptable. And for them, some of them to be honored with title. It's a demeaning to the body of the Christ, and it's not expected of us. So wherever it's being done, we should put a stop to it. And that is why we are experiencing what we are seeing now, because they now discover that the church, what is supposed to be, is no longer there. You can bribe your way through to become somebody great
in the church.
And that is why we are having all these things, because the church has lost the focus. The major thing that we're supposed to be doing, the work of evangelism, preaching to people, making them to come back to Christ, making them to live a good life, have a good character, because we are not doing it. That's why we have Boko Haram, Fulani headmen, all these people now turning to us now, killing us, and maiming us, raping our mothers and sisters. All these things are happening. So it's supposed not to be. Church must be a place where we correct people if they misbehave. It's a place whereby we tell them, away with your money.
Go and do what is right.
Go and do what is right. Go and return the money where you have stolen it, because you are not giving the church a good image. When the church rise up to do that, then peace will be established.
We must commend you for that. We must commend you for that honest opinion. Now, some other key attributes of Christian evangelism are charity, support for the sick, the poor. You know, through the establishment of schools, yes, establishment of hospitals, orphanages, libraries, and all that. But all that seems to have died.
Well, I may not want to agree with that somehow, because in my church is working.
We don't seem to have new schools being built.
Okay.
We don't to have new hospitals.
Yeah. Why we are not having new school and all these amenities that are supposed to be in place is that religious body now discover that if you have all these things in place, it's going to be taken away by the government, and the government are not ready to take care of all these things. Instead of taking care of all these things,
they run them down.
They bring confusion, they run it down, they bring another things that will suppress people and tell them you have to do this because it belongs to government. And when people discover that if they should build school now, build hospital, the government will take it. And then they will say, in this school now, you have to put on hijab. So nobody will be interested to go and build school or to go and do anything whereby the government will take it again. So that's the problem.
Okay, now let's come back to again the question of what is happening to the Methodist sect itself. You are now about 80 million worldwide. What is happening? So are we saying that the other sects, other Protestants are taking over the market from the
Well, you know, it's what we can call, we are one body, we are brothers and sisters, and it's like what I told you before, that Methodist is charismatic in nature.
Yes.
And we go out to preach the word of God, and when we win more souls, but as we said that the number is not increasing, possibly it is possible that our brothers, some of them are going there.
Yes.
So Methodists don't preach denomination. When we preach, when we want to win soul, like just for example, this Easter Saturday,
yes,
we are outside Akpogbo area, Olowogbogbo. When we preach and make announcement and all the rest of things to people like that, after preaching, we tell them that you can go to any church that you feel you want to go to, but peradventure you don't want to go there, you can come to our church.
Yes.
Is here. Nobody
but
is under duress.
Preaching at Olarewaju, that's where we have area boys and all.
Exactly, under the bridge.
Yes.
We move around there to go and preach, because that's the assignment that God has given to us. We discovered that we have been lazy for some time. We are inside DC, inside the church, and we are using the same member all the time. All the members that we are using persistently, they are tired. They are tired. Donation fatigue. So we have to go outside to go and win more souls, get more people, and peradventure, if we get them, they come into the church, they assist the people that are there formally to do most of the job of the church. So that's what we are doing. So as regard that, your observation is very right, but we are improving on that now. Okay,
we are happy to hear that, so that we can see many more, flocking into the Methodist sect. But one thing again that is very clear when we look at religion and development, human development, will be the question of what the early Christians were trying to do, via education and empowerment. Now, suddenly, what we now seem to have is that the upper echelon in the churches are getting richer, whereas the majority of the parishioners are getting poorer. So why is that different from what is happening in this society?
It's a product of what we have been saying for long, that some people are being overpaid, whereby I read just out of the newspaper that somebody is taking about 600 million per month.
Yes.
And that is not good enough. So most of the younger ones that are coming out now, no work. There is nothing for them to do. So you find them coming to church to cool down, to do anything, to have encouragement, because the future for the youth is not ordinarily bleak, it's dark. If you have any word that is more appropriate, we can use it. They don't have any future. And that is why you see NSAS, you see them gallivanting and doing all the rest of things. They have been pushed to the wall. That's why the youth are coming out. They have been pushed to the wall. Some of them will go outside, go abroad, they go and do many other things, odd job to get money. And some of them, they go into Yahoo. It's not their intention to go into Yahoo, all these things.
But it's deprivation.
It's not in their intention, but the job is not there. In the olden days when they talk, I was born in race course along King George,
yes,
Avenue 38, King George. That was where I was born, Lafiaji. We used to go and watch the light of Gowon. Gowon, we go there and watch the light. And Gowon will say, I don't have problem of how to, the problem I have is how to spend money. It's not the problem of money, how to spend it. The money is in Nigeria. The value of Naira then was very heavy. Now, where is the glory of naira? Where is the glory of naira? If you put money for deposit, fixed deposit, nothing on top. No treasury bill, nothing. Everything dead. So, what are we talking about?
Okay, but very Reverend, that is we have defined, or you have highlighted again, the bleak situation that we have in the country.
Yes.
But as a faith leader, as a leader of a faith organization, how do we change that narrative? How do we use your own office to reposition Nigeria and Nigerians? How do we call back that era that you're talking about, where our challenge will be not the money, but how to spend it? How can we get to that?
The only way that we can get to that is to go back the way of God. If you don't go back the way of God, we can't get it right.
So you're saying that Nigerians become godless?
That's the attitude we put on. We are not ready to change. Our leader, we don't have leaders who are listening leaders. They don't listen to the masses. Calling for restructuring, we don't want to go, we don't want to part our brothers, because we have interwoven Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, interwoven. Please, we beg you.
That really is a reality.
Exactly. Let us restructure. We don't want to go. We don't want to go. Still, they fail. They don't listen. And that's why you see everybody, Igboho standing up, Kanu standing up, all these people. Many of them are standing up out of frustration because nobody is listening to them. It's not their intention to rise up and be doing all these things unless we go back to God and obey Him, humble ourselves, be pragmatic about His word. Because Hosea chapter 8 verse 3, Hosea chapter 8 verse 3, the Bible says, Israel has thrown away something good, and enemy shall pursue him. Israel ignorere sọnù, ọ̀tá yóò sì lépa ẹ̀. So it's like we have thrown away something that is good,
and we are now inviting
enemy to pursue us. When the enemy discover that we don't have God, we are godless, then he comes in and chases you away because you are without power. It's when you have God that you have power. But God is not there. You have replaced God with money. What did they use to trick the soldiers when you are talking of resurrection? They said, the Bible said they bribed the soldier. Matthew 28 from verse 12 downward.
Yes.
The soldiers were called, they bribed them. Say, we know that you need money. Just tell them that the disciples came by night and they stole the body away. Nobody will arrest you. And so they lied.
And that's where we have found ourselves also.
That's why we find ourselves.
Okay, let's come back to how you define yourself. A presbyter. Why not a pastor? What's the difference? Why are we creating these distinctions?
Exactly. You are right. Why we do that is, you know, when they say Methodist, we are with a method. We have method and we have constitution. And inside that constitution, there is what we call reverend. Reverend is a priest. And when you talk about presbyter is not talking about the title of that person, but it's talking about the seat.
Yes.
The seat of the
responsibility.
Presbyter of Olarewaju Circuit.
Yes.
You cannot say Presbyter John Olarewaju Solubi, they will say you are wrong. But when you say Presbyter Olarewaju Circuit, that is the seat. When you want to use my name, you say Very Reverend John Olarewaju Solubi. They say you are now talking. When we talk of Very Reverend or Reverend, something terrible. That is, we have a God that is terrible, a God that is great, a God that we must honor. So He has chosen His servant to represent Him. So we are not God.
Only His servant.
So we must reference the man of God. So it's only that today we have men of the devil they have polluted the name. So people no longer respect minister, they no longer honor them. Some of them use minister as a rag to clean their shoe because of the past experience they have had. And so they see their minister as somebody that we are together. I can misbehave, I can do whatever I want to do with him. Who is he? So not knowing that the Bible says, touch not my anointed, do my prophet no harm. So that is the issue. The name of a pastor or reverend has been drawn in the mud because of our attitude, some of us. Okay,
very Reverend Solubi is still here. We are not going to let him go anywhere. We will just take a breather so that all of you can be part of the conversation. It's about how to re-engineer Nigeria. It's about how to reposition Nigeria. It's about how to really celebrate, well, the Easter tide. Let's hope we can get a new tide into Nigeria. That's what he's talking about. So stay with us. I'll be back shortly.
We must dilate the eyes. We look for if they have cataract, look at the back of their eyes. They have glaucoma. We do a full workup for them.
You will remember
government should actually open their eyes, especially southwest of the state.
When we're looking deeper than we ever looked in before to ensure that we close all the loopholes.
It manifests as physical suffering.
Every edition is an arresting conversation with distinguished Nigerians from various strata of the society, bearing their minds on how we can realize the Nigeria of our dreams. Join us live on Close Flow, Monday, every week here on NTA2 Lagos Network Center. Close Flow. The conversation is about you.
Thank you for staying with us. Reverend Solubi is still here. Just before we went on that break, he was trying to re-educate us so we can know exactly how to reverence a man who has chosen to become, the servant of the Lord Almighty. And that's very, very critical. Today, we don't seem to know that anymore. So you can be a part of that conversation. The number again for you to join us will be 080-5975-3044. I'll take that again. 080-5975-3044. If you cannot call in, then send a message, send a text, so that our reverend gentleman can actually respond to what you're saying. Now, quickly, very reverend, something again that we seem to be contending with in the country will be the question of poor orientation. Do you think it has to do with our educational background? Do you think our schools are losing the right caliber or the right teaching methods? Or what do you how do you want to explain the fact that right now Nigerians don't see themselves as Nigerians the way we used to when we were growing up?
The problem is like ethnic cleansing and what I can call, the way I put it the other time, nepotism, where we have government of the Fulani, by the Fulani, and for the Fulani. So, and when it's one-sided, people want to believe that we are no longer Nigerians, that one tribe has been placed on the other. And that's why we are failing in securing the nation. That's why we are failing in many aspects. About 70% of the position that are so vital and important in Nigeria has been given to the Fulani. So when Fulani is being caught today that he has killed somebody, take that Fulani to police station. The next following day, they will call from Abuja. They will release the Fulani. So you are inside problem again. The Fulani will still come back and kill the people.
Now, but can that be true by the time you now say, okay, let's go at separate ways? Imagine that in southwest Nigeria, so the Ijebu man becomes governor and all the top officials are Ijebus. So are we going to repeat the same story?
And that one will be uncalled for. It will not be good for Ijebu to be all-rounder. No, it should not be. There's equity. There must be equity, fairness, and justice must come to play. So anybody that wants to be a leader must be able to think and think well, and know that what we have on ground is for everybody. And so when you divide it well, you make equitably, and you make consultation, you sit together, and you open up to your brothers and sisters. This is what we have on ground. How do we do it? and you all, every one of you come together, whether Igbo, whether Yoruba, Hausa or Fulani, we come together and agree first. Then before we place it out that okay, Lagbaja is handling this one, Tamedu is handling this one. But if you do it alone and then you make nonsense of it, then there is going to be a problem.
Okay, let's come back to the question of politicking. Politicking in Nigeria seems to be commercialized. It is no longer, it is no longer about national interest. It is no longer about the polity itself. It's just about the fact that people now have monetized it. So it is a big, the man with the big bag, with the billion van that actually can control who. So how do we disorientate us from that? How do we end that?
Thank you, sir. As you said, it's not good enough because you are not going to get the best. If we center everything on money, that okay, before you come to this position, go
have to bring 500 million.
You are corrupting the man. The moment you say go and bring 500 million, you go and loot the government treasury, or you go and loot money somehow, go and steal, commit crime, get the money, pay or borrow the money from somewhere
and get into the office.
If you get into the office, the first number one thing is to retrieve the money and pay back, and then be getting more money to himself. By that time, he's not going to talk about he's fighting for his constituency or he's fighting for the common people. He wants to fight for his pocket. There is not a time that he's going to tell people that I want to feed my people. I want to feed my pocket. He will feed the pocket very well. Every opportunity to get to a political position in Nigeria is an opportunity to loot the treasury and get money to where you want it to be. Okay, now
again, you have helped us to define the character of politics, as it were. Unfortunately, we are caught in that situation right now, because without politics, we don't have democracy.
Exactly.
So what are we saying? Do we now remove the politicians to run the country?
No, it's not possible. We just need to educate them, orientate them that you should remember the son of whom you are. You must not, if you go there, you are going to represent us. You are going to represent the family. So there is no way for you to go there and misrepresent us or to damage our name. Because the moment you are there, you are not there for yourself. Let the family build them up. Let the family remind them. Let the family let them know. In Yoruba, they will tell, if Yoruba should say, Roti omo anything won she, is a million word. Roti ile where you come from is a million word. It's a powerful word. So if you want to go there to steal, when they tell you that, you know that you are not going to steal again. No. You have to do it right. And the money they are paying the politician is too much. And that is why there can be no security. They use this money to rent people to steal and all the rest of all these bandit people they are using. It's politicians who are funding them. All these Boko Haram politicians fund them. And by the time they say we want money to release these people, they are the one who will collect the money. If they say we need about, give us 500 million, you negotiate, it turns to 100 million. They get the money. And they have more money. Assuming they are receiving 30,000, nobody will struggle for any political position. And nobody will go and sponsor Boko Haram or sponsor bandits in order to get more money.
Well, again, you managed one of the CAN's office, that is the Christian Association of Nigeria, some time ago. So in terms of occupying offices, did you experience this kind of claims, stories being pandered around about what you're doing, if you are doing the right thing in the office? Because Nigerians, we seem to have, it's like a story mill. We create stories all the time. Did you experience it? Did you go through that kind of experience?
No, at all, because the only place I was CAN chairman, it was then in Ekiti.
Yes.
I was a chairman of CAN, and it was a radical evangelism that I used it to do. I was arrested with police on the 1st September 1997 when our Archbishop then, he was a Bishop Abiodun Omodubi. They are going to bury him very soon, from 12 to 16 of April.
Yes.
I was arrested. The head of the Ologboni, I don't want to mention the name, but if you go down to
no need for that, yes.
The story still remain that if you they give me a name, they don't call my name Okoshu Okwaje, they will say, that man, Very Reverend Solubi. We used to go out at the middle of the night on Monday, Wednesday, Friday to go and pray on the mountain. And then we go out around 12 to 3. We preach round. They said this is not Methodist church. How can they be preaching round? If you are saying it's Redeemer, we know them. But this one, from Orthodox, preaching round and all the rest of things, the Ogboni people, they strike us with their medicine, hoping that we will die. We never die. 3 of them gave their life to Christ. And one of retired Archbishop Udubanjo came all the way from Ifaki Cathedral to Kiayedu. He came and do baptism for them, and then when they want to confirm, they do confirmation for them, and they said they are no longer belonging to Ogboni.
Yes.
So all these things, when you come into CAN, you don't need to play politics to get to position. Let your name advertise your work. Let it advertise you, because it's a call for responsibility, a call to serve. And the moment you begin to lobby for it, you are making it to be like the one we are operating in Nigeria, which is not good enough.
That is a money politics.
Money politics.
Okay, all right. Again, let me quickly run through the numbers for you to reach us, because I'm sure many of you probably have been trying. Maybe it's just a network, but let me just repeat the numbers so you can be a part of this conversation. 080-5975-3044. That is 080-5975-3044. 080-5975-3044. Please, if you cannot get through, just send an SMS so that Very Reverend can quickly, respond to some of the queries that you're also trying to raise. Now, something else that we are looking at will be the work ethics of Nigerians. Nigerians used to be very determined, very passionate about their yes, very committed. Okay, you have you experienced it around where you're officiating? Like, do you see that the work ethics of Nigerians have changed? Have you noticed it?
It has changed because of what we are experiencing and the way people are behaving, the way people are going after money and all the rest. So that commitment, the spirit is dying. And for some, it's already dead because they don't see anything to encourage them about that commitment. So there is nothing they want to do now. They want to get money, even in the church, for you to get the person with
yes.
Maybe
to help you to sweep or to
you have to pay anything you want to do. Okay, you want to train the youth now, you have to pay for their transport fare. And in some cases, it's not their problem.
Yes,
it's not their fault because the leaders has eaten everything finished, and there is no future left for the youth because they don't have work. They are still under their parents. The youth are supposed to come out, and then ready-made job is already on ground, just like the time of Gowan. It's no longer there.
1 second, Reverend. Chinedu from Anambra State. Chinedu, can you hear us? Hello, Chinedu. Oh, I think we lost him.
Hey, sorry.
Chinedu, I'm sorry about that. Please try and call back so that Very Reverend can quickly respond to. Chinedu called us from Anambra State. Please, we'll see if we can let him try again. Or you should just send a text first so we can read out his question. Now, let's even come back to another issue. Hawking, street hawkers. How does that rank with you? How do you, anytime you're driving, you see these children on the street racing around to sell pure water, bottled drinks? How do you?
It's a sign of poverty. It shows the level of poverty of Nigerians, and just to make ends meet, you even see some of them that are supposed to be going to school, they hawk just to survive, just to get something to feed the family. So they have to abandon school and then be hawking up and down. It's not, you see some, they even almost run into the
in front of the cars.
In front of the car. They are, in most cases, some of them possibly they lost their life because they are treading a very dangerous kind of movement in the midst of vehicle going. They run scatter to sell their goods.
Wares, yes.
Their wares. So, and by the time they finish getting back home, they are tired. So there is no school. So it's the survival of the fittest. So they just have to make ends meet, get the money, hawk around, get the money, eat, sleep, survive. The next day you go out again, you go and sell. So the thing is not good enough because money is in one person's hand. Money is not flowing the way it's supposed to flow. If it flows very well and people are okay, I don't see any reason why you see people go on the street and be hawking because it's not safe enough. It's not safe enough.
Okay, that is a good one for us there. So economically, if we strengthen, the citizenry, then certainly the. Now let's look at Nigeria is ranked the poverty capital of the world. Very Reverend, you think it's funny?
It's a very pathetic situation. It's not funny. Very pathetic. For Nigeria to be ranked the capital of poorest nation is a very bad position for Nigeria. Because as you can still recollect that Gowon will say, the money is not my problem, it's how to spend it. Now telling us now that Nigeria is the poorest capital in the whole nation.
In the whole world.
In the whole world. That means the nation has been quachocorized, the nation has been bastardized, the nation has been pummeled to the extent that there is no strength in the nation. The nation is already dead. The only person that can revive that nation that we are talking about is the man we are preaching, Jesus. So if we accept Jesus into our life, you be your brother's keeper. So you don't want to steal public money. You want to do it right. You don't see anybody as this one coming from Igbo land, this one is Yoruba, this one is Fulani, this one is Hausa. You want to see everybody as your brother. So what we are having now is a sign that we don't commit our life to Christ. We have not given our life to Christ, and we still have people who are loyal to tribe and say, okay, this is my tribe, even when they are killing people, I will still be at their back. It's wrong. That is what is pulling the nation down. Righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach. So we cannot keep on sinning like this and expect Nigeria to rise. Some people will say Nigeria, Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ a jíríyà. Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ a jíríyà.
Meaning you shouldn't wake up
to see that, to see suffering. Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ a jíríyà. You know, fella used to sing one song. He say, every day my people dey inside suffering and smiling. Now it's no longer suffering and smiling, suffering and crying. That is the position we are here now. They are suffering and crying. No suffering and smiling at all. It's suffering and crying. The nation is at a precarious position. We need to continue to pray. We need to continue to be proactive. We need to continue to fast and do many other things that can revive this nation back. So that is the only way out. Without that, I bet you, if you are not careful, things fall apart. The center cannot hold. Okay. Anarchy fall upon the whole world.
Now, okay, let's come back to how we can deepen or how we can enlighten the citizenry, as it were. Now, you have given us a good example. Some of our own artists have tried to encourage people, through musical works. You have mentioned, yes, Chinua Achebe's work again. Yes. Now, so are we getting any kind of library from religious bodies, from religious leaders? Are you capturing all your experiences in works that we can share with the public? Do we have that?
We've been having it, but for me, I've not been able to capture my own. So, but I believe one day I will put pen to paper and capture it.
Yes, but you do have publications that you share with the.
We do have in Methodist Church Nigeria. One was just distributed about 2 or 3 days ago, given to us. But the reading culture of our people is so poor. So if you give anybody anything like books to go and read, social media, they will not read it. They just dump it somewhere. They pick their phone. Their phone they can use 24/7 on it, browsing. For them to read, no way. If you just they take the literature book or take the magazine, as you give to them, so you will see it on the table. Maybe they can, peradventure, they can at least skip through it, use about 2 minutes and dump it. They go back to the phone.
So why is the church not migrating to the phone?
Well, the church is migrating to the phone now because we are forced to migrate to the phone. Because normally the church is not on streaming. So, but when coronavirus came, 2020, it was a big challenge to the church. The church nearly caved in. There was a particular time that even, you know, we are Orthodox, we are not like all this new generation church. Whereby in some cases in those churches, when they stole money, they know how to block the eye of the pastor and go and dump it there. We don't have that in Orthodox churches. So at a time, I remember one Sunday, we realized 2,000. And when I told the Archbishop, 2,000 we realized in cathedral, which has never happened before. So the Archbishop advised, maybe any means we can use, let us try so that we can, at least for ministers to fend for themselves, and to get their stipend. We don't get salary, it's stipend.
Yes.
Our money is just a thing that we use to token to manage. So the first call, a place that we want to go to, to go and tell them, to show them that the church, we are having a great experience. When we got there, I called the person that, we are at your gate, we want to see you. I said, my presbyter, are you around? I said, yes. What are you doing outside? I said, we just want to come and see you, greet you, and he said, Reverend, this time is coronavirus period. I cannot open my door. I can't open my door. You have to go back. I said, sorry, don't worry, there's no problem. I just said we should just come, but no, we have to turn back and leave.
And that really was what was happening all over the world.
It was happening all over the world. All over the world, we are going through pain. And we are still going through pain. It's only that Nigeria is no more practicing lockdown again. Everything is coming back to normalcy. So, immediately we failed in that place, I just canceled the hotel. And miracle just begin to happen again. And the church was alive again. So there is no need to even go to anybody.
All right, we got a call from one of our viewers thanking you for your candid opinions on the expressions, some of the things you have mentioned here. I really couldn't get the name right, but AGK, okay, thank you, AGK, for sending your message, and I think very Reverend is very happy about that. Now, let's come back to the duties of citizenship. Because you have said all these things now, it will appear that we're only looking at one side of the coin, and that's about leaders. Now, how about citizens themselves? AGK does say thank you for some of the opinions you have shared. So how can AGK and his friends or his neighbors and other citizens like him, how can they be part of this solution that you're trying to proffer?
Well, how they can be part is that they have to be pragmatic. Nobody should go and sleep and allow the challenge to dominate us. We have to go back to God, pray to God, and we must speak aloud. Sorosoke.
Yes.
We must not allow anybody to intimidate us. The way you see it, you say it. This year is a year of arrest. If you say anything, they pick you up.
Yes.
They go and lock you up.
Yes.
But it's better for somebody to say his mind. It's better for somebody to speak out and say, this is the way I'm seeing things. We have to adjust to, we have to amend our way, because the way we are going, we cannot get to the promised land. So we must not keep silent. This is the period to speak and tell people how we need to move the nation forward. Or else, people will keep on agitating.
Okay, another thing again that you may want to address will be the question of rumors or what they call fake news and all manner of unverifiable stories. Because social media is everywhere now, all sorts of things can. So how do we get to authenticate some of these stories that we're sharing with people?
Well, rumor is very bad, and it pollutes people's mind. It makes people to, if that person is not verifying what is being said to him or her, it will just go ahead and be misbehaving to somebody, or it can even call you names if you are not careful. But for rumors to be well checked, if anybody come to you and say,
I heard this,
boy, tell that person that, look, the person that you are talking about, can I call him so that you repeat the same thing you are telling me? If you say no, and then you discover that he's a bad person. But if you say yes, call him, I will repeat the same thing, he's a good person. So, and that is what we are not doing. In most cases, when they tell us fake news and bad one because of their selfish motive, because most of them, they go there because of what they are going to get. So they go and pollute people's mind. They tell them fake news, and after they give them money and say thank you. And the person they give the fake news, we think they have given him or her a good one, and go ahead and be hating that person, misbehaving and doing other things. In social media, you can go to Google.
Yes.
To check.
Fact check, yes.
That is this one fake or genuine? It will show. So that's another way of cross-checking before you say anything. And it's better for somebody to safer for somebody to check. Because if you don't check, you just be carrying it up and down. And you are thinking that you are giving people the right food. Meanwhile, you are giving them poison.
All right, okay. Very Reverend John Olarewaju Solubi, trained and is still undergoing training. Very soon he's going to come up with his master's. No?
Yes.
Wait a minute. Can you give us your last word? Because we are just celebrating Easter. So what is your last word to your parishioners, to adherents, to other Nigerians, other faith, believers?
Well, my words to them is that we should not be tired. We should not be discouraged. Because the joy of Easter is that Jesus came to this world in order to give us better life, and that was why he was able to die for mankind, born to die. So normally if he's not ready to die, we just be in his glory in heaven, he will not come down. But because of the love that Jesus had for mankind and God himself, God gave his only begotten son. That is John 3:16. That whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. So Jesus came, he humbled himself to the extent that he was arrested, to the extent that he was nailed to the cross. After being nailed to the cross, he died. After experiencing death, he was buried like human being. And after being buried, he resurrected. We have never seen at any point in place where they tell us that they find the skeleton of Jesus or they find the remain body part of Jesus. It has not been recorded.
And that's the joy that we're celebrating.
That's the joy of resurrection, of what we are celebrating. And when you go down to 1 Corinthians 15, it gives us about those who give us testimony that this man resurrected. Because there are obstacles to resurrection. About three of them.
There are Nigerians watching, and they want to watch another program.
Okay.
So.
Okay, thank you, sir. So finally, if you want to experience the miracle of resurrection, be ready to be pragmatic, be ready to believe in Christ, and it shall be well with you.
All right. Very Reverend, thank you very much for being part of this conversation. Again, for us on Close Flow, it's never over. So go to all our social media handles, especially on YouTube, and then go and continue this conversation with him, or send him some of your questions or your comments so that he can respond to them. Thank you so much for being part of the conversation. We hope to have you again to come and speak to us. Maybe by the time we are celebrating Nigeria's independence, we should come and do that and speak to us.
We are together.
That's very Reverend Solubi from the Methodist Church. Thank you very much, and bye for now.
Yes, sir.
And from all of us here, it is bye for now.